안녕하세요, 닥터조입니다. 오늘은 제 환자 중에서 케이스를 리뷰해 볼 건데요. 일단 L5, L4가 안 좋은 게 MRI상 보이죠? 디스크도 굉장히 얇아져 있고 L5, L4도 시꺼멓게 변하고 있는 게 보이실 거예요. 그리고 높이도 점점 줄고 있죠. 이 환자는 그렇게 완전히 정상적인 디스크는 안 보이는데 그래도 이 L2 정도 L2 정도? 이 정도면 정상으로 봐도 됩니다. 근데 원래는 이 정도로 계속 유지가 돼야 되는데 이렇게 시꺼멓게 되거나 아니면 이렇게 시꺼멓게 되고 뒤쪽으로 이렇게 튀어나와 있고 이런 부분이 있고 일단 L4도 그렇죠. 이런 부분이 있으면 일단은 빨리 이 부분을 교정해 줘야 돼요. 이게 여기서 교정을 해야 될 수도 있고 이 밑에 쪽에서 교정해야 될 수도 있고 이 천정관절을 교정해야 될 수도 있어요. 그러니까 이런 부분을 정확하게 잘 판단해서 환자들을 교정해야 되죠. 이분 같은 경우는 처음에는 잘 서 있지도 못하고 앉아 있지도 못하고 계속 어느 정도 움직이면 그래도 괜찮은데 통증 때문에 거의 일상생활 하기가 너무 힘들었었어요. 근데 이분이 프로 축구 선수 트레이너이기 때문에 항상 몸을 어느 정도 움직여야 되는 그런 직업을 갖고 있었어요. 그래서 항상 약을 먹으면서 통증 완화를 시키면서 그렇게 해서 계속해서 하루하루 일을 하고 있었는데 이분이 오신 후에 이제 문제가 이제 오른쪽 천정관절 그리고 당연히 L5 쪽에 문제가 있다는 걸 발견하고 이제 교정을 시작했었습니다. 교정하고 나서 한 달가량 치료하고 나니까 웬만치 움직일 수 있는 거 움직이고 그리고 운동도 할 수 있는 정도까지 갔어요. 생각보다 시간이 좀 오래 걸리긴 했습니다. 원체 L5 쪽이 안 좋았기 때문에 이런 경우는 대부분 의사들은 수술하라고 일단 권하거든요. 이게 이유가 뭐냐면 이게 디스크가 너무 많이 튀어나와 있고 이 척추 안에 있는 공간을 거의 다 먹고 있어요. 디스크가 거의 튀어나온 게 완전히 공간을 메우다시피 이렇게 하고 있으니까 여기 보면은 척수가 굉장히 많이 눌리고 있는 게 보이죠? 이렇게 한쪽이 찌그러진 정도로 디스크가 누르고 있어요. 이런 경우 같은 경우는 당연히 그 자극 증상이 클 수밖에 없습니다. 다리 끝까지 방사통에 가고 그리고 또 요추도 당연히 너무 아팠죠, 이쪽이. 그러니까 이런 쪽 같은 경우는 이렇게 만성적으로 아프신 분들 같은 경우는 일단 염증을 줄이셔야 돼요. 그 제가 첫 번째 비디오에 말한 것처럼 아이싱을 하셔서 히팅 쓰시면 안 됩니다. 뜨겁게 하시면 안 돼요. 그 뜨거운 거는 안 그래도 염증이 있는 조직, 특히 신경 조직 같은 경우는 그쪽이 안 그래도 예민한데 더 예민하게 만들 수밖에 없어요. 그런 식으로 쓰시면 안 되고 무조건 차갑게 해서 디스크에 있는 염증을 줄이셔야 됩니다. 그리고 SI 조인트도 마찬가지예요. 너무 부어 있으면은 여기 부분 따뜻하게 하면 안 되죠. 여기 염증이 너무 커지고 부으면은 신경을 더 압박하죠. 그렇게 하면 안 되니까 찬 걸 쓰셔야죠. 이분 같은 경우 이제는 거의 문제없이 생활하시고 데드리프트나 일반적인 스쿼트도 하실 수 있고 무게는 조금 낮게 시작하지만 그래도 거의 일반적인 운동할 수 있을 정도까지 돌아왔습니다. 한번 인터뷰하는 거 들어보시죠.
Yeah, we're gonna do the brief interview about your case. You're the one of the strongest man ever I know. Yeah, your lower back problem was definitely one of the bad cases like that I saw like within my career. You still by the time working like crazy. Wow, that was really impressive. But definitely those kind of pain is hindering your daily activity. Probably you could feel those things all the time by the time especially at the beginning, first couple of weeks. Can you explain what kind of condition were you experiencing?
Yes, sure. Thank you first. Thank you
Yeah.
first. Yeah, the condition came from a herniated disc like a long time ago, where I actually injured myself when I was coaching and playing football on a very good level in the Netherlands. When I came back to China, it felt okay. I actually never did rehab for it. Actually, it just gradually reducing pain, and then one moment it fluctuated back when I was training and taking ibuprofen, trying to kill the pain and so on. Till one point I couldn't endure it anymore, and basically I had to lay down. I couldn't sit. I couldn't walk without pain. The only way how I didn't have pain was to lay down actually on the floor, not even in the bed. And bending forward was very difficult. Carrying a bag was very difficult, and like I say, sitting is very difficult. So like driving on the scooter, sitting in a taxi, there was a painful experience every time. And as a coach, you want to move, you want to do an example for the students, for the players, or for the people who come to the class. And at that time, it was very hard. Felt basically every movement that I did pain, and then sometimes a 10 out of 10 where I really had to lay down on the floor, and sometimes a 4 out of 10, but at the worst point it never went under the 6 out of 10 for sure.
Okay. How long you been dealing with this condition?
Like I mentioned, like I think 3 years ago, like 3.5 years ago in the Netherlands, it got really bad, where I felt some little pain in the hamstring area, in the glute area, and then I went to the team doctor, to the physio for a massage, and actually the pain felt relieved. And the day after, I fainted three or four times. I told you this story before, and then I was in bed for just really literally had to lay down, barely couldn't stand up for a week or 2 or 3, and then gradually it starts getting better. But like every single time that I try to train a little bit more, run a little bit more, do a little bit more exercise, play a little bit more football, it would come back and it would like stop me. Where at that point I was training for a fitness race, and I was like training and I was really fit, but I had to keep myself up with ibuprofen and painkillers, tiger balm, ice packs to just stay there together. And then at that moment that was, I think, right now about a year ago, that I really couldn't sit or stand, or I just had to lay down, and until that point.
Besides chiropractic, you tried multiple different things, I believe. Like what things were there?
I mean, I like try like massages, and I went also to see the doctor, do MRI scans, etc. And most of them, they advised like, oh, you need to do a surgery, and also really pushed for this. At that time I also didn't really feel comfortable with that. Did a lot of massage, stretching, and then that is temporary relief, right? So it relieves the pain for some time if I stretch, or I walk a little bit, or I do a little warm up. Okay, I feel a little bit better, and so on. And the same for a massage goes, like, oh, your muscles feel relief, but then the next day you're back to where it was the day before, actually. Well, that is very different after a session where you get adjusted, that you actually feel not just relief, it feels like, okay, like calm. And obviously not the first time, but it takes a few times to completely get there.
Yeah, by the time when you go to the doctors, you said they suggest you doing operating on your fifth lumbar disc. What kind of suggestion?
I mean, they suggested to do an MRI. So back in the Netherlands, they didn't really want to help me at first. Luckily, the club where I was working with, they helped me through their team doctor, and because there's the professional side, and I could go into the hospital. But at first, the doctor in the Netherlands, they say, oh, it's herniated disc, don't need to do any rest for a few months, you'll be all right. But then here in China, then they were like, oh, it's really bad. It's really bad, but not really giving me the details. Obviously, I could read the MRI report myself that it didn't look great, but obviously as someone, I'm a coach, but I am not like an expert on the spine, or especially the lumbar spine. So I just read it, you maybe put it on the internet, and then they find, oh, maybe you should do a surgery, maybe not. But the doctors, they were like, oh, you can do it, it's fine, and you have this the new technology, and you're the older part. That I didn't trust it, but also in the period of my life, I don't think I need a surgery for my back, because it's a very massive impact, and also the chance that it comes back is there as well, even written on the internet. But even when I confronted the doctors with that, they were like, yeah, it can come back. It doesn't, if you do a surgery, it doesn't mean that it's gone.
Yeah, so you did all those research, and then
Yes,
figure out.
I mean, like when like the pain was like real, like you can have pain in your arm, and then you work with your other arm, but you have one spine, one back, and for me it really went through my whole leg. So the sciatic nerve, so like bending my knee, stretching my full leg wasn't possible, where like even in the calf muscle, sometimes I got like the movements there that I couldn't control. The pain, it felt like a hamstring pull, but it was more likely the nerve. But I did all the research for that, and I was very happy that my friend recommended to come over here to get help, and in the end, very good, I think. Very good.
Okay. Briefly, tell me about how was the process throughout the chiropractic care? Like at the beginning, maybe up to the midpoint, and now.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I was actually talking yesterday with some friends about it, like how it works, right? Because obviously you are in a lot of pain at that moment, and everything what will help you even a little bit, you will try. Like I say, you go to a massage place, and that helps for a little bit. But at the first few times was definitely a little bit painful, especially like I just mentioned, it went through the whole sciatic nerve, right? So when there was like the little crack in the lower back, I felt it as well in my calf and in my hamstring.
Yeah.
But actually, if going to the midpoint, still like sometimes going through the leg, right? But all the time a little bit less. So it didn't go through all the way to my toes. Then I go to my calves. Then I go to half hamstring. Then just in the glutes, and one point at the lower back. And at one point you don't feel the pain through your leg at all anymore. Just the point you hear the crack, and that we discussed it as well. But I think even when you don't have the pain, it's still very useful to get the adjustment, because automatically the way how you sit, the way how you walk, like the shoes that you wear every daily life, like you're using your body, and automatically sometimes it get pulled, sometimes you will work out, maybe you don't have so much time for a stretch after, but at that moment, especially if you have the condition, then your muscle get tight, and then they feel actually you get pulled out a little bit. So from the beginning, where it is very painful, maybe a little bit scary, because sometimes you see the videos right where they crack and then they put the sound a little bit louder. Well, you do hear a sound, you hear a crack, but it's not like on YouTube or wherever a video that is like boom. No, that's okay.
Yeah.
There is a slight difference, and of course, maybe the first time is a little scary, but then after you get used to it, and actually you feel your body so much more free. Like the how do you say that, the movement, range of motion, and that way is such an improvement, and that is not comparable to like a massage type of a treatment.
Yeah, that's right. So far, as far as your lower back problem right now, do you feel any limitation now?
Right now, no. Right now, no. I think, especially when we did it every week, we still had to. I still had to adjust some things that I do. And of course, sometimes in the daily life, I adjust. Like I like to run, but running is triggering like the pain. So every time when I run, I can do a 2-3K run, but I know as well when I go a little bit longer, then I will feel very stiff the day after. I try to build my workouts out to strengthen the back, but in the limitation, sometimes like maybe when you do a deadlift, then they're fully go down on the right hand side. That is still difficult, but I remember the time that I couldn't bend over to pick up a water bottle or a football or something from the floor. Till now, actually, I can deadlift and 10 kg, which is not much, but for me, it's such a big difference from where it was.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the interviewing,
No
Brian.
worries. Thank you very much for your help.
Yeah,
Very appreciated.
yeah, I appreciate it as well.
Good.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
like this.